In today's video, we're checking out the 64 custom Princeton Reverb amplifier from Fender. This is hand wired and it has some of the nicest reverb and onboard tremolo or vibrato you're going to hear from any amp. Let's take a listen. Here's the Fender 64 Princeton Reverb amplifier up close. So this is a one-channel amplifier. We get our volume control, a 2-band EQ, a dedicated reverb control, and an onboard tremolo. And the great news is you don't need to plug in a foot switch to get the tremolo to work. It just works just by turning up these controls. On the back of the amp, there's no effects loop. We simply get our power on and off. You can also run this to an external cabinet thanks to this jack right here. In the back of the amplifier over here, we have a whole bunch of different valves or tubes, including a tube-driven spring reverb and tremolo, which explains why that sounds so good. We get 3 AX7s and 112 AT7 preamp tubes, a matched pair of 6V6 output tubes, and a 5 AR7/G734 rectifier tube. This amplifier is rated at 12 watts. We get a slip cover included in the bag. There's also a 2-button foot switch that allows you to turn the reverb or tremolo on or off. Princeton Reverbs are a whole lot of fun. I'll talk about my experience with it at the end of the video, but before we get into it, a huge thanks to Sky Music for the loan of this. I don't get to keep it, no money's changed hands, and this video is not sponsored in any way. If you want to help support the channel, I'll leave some affiliate links down in the description box below. Let's get into it. All right, let's kick it off with some clean tones with some single coils. Thanks to my keys, so we're going to start on bridge and middle pickups. I have the amp mic'd up with an AEA N22 ribbon microphone and an Austrian Audio OD5. The bass and treble controls are right around 5 and the reverb's just on 4. Actually, I'll back that off just a hair. The volume's at 3.5. So this is dead clean. I'm going to play a mix of stuff in this video, so we'll try some pedals and that a little bit later on, but this is bridge and middle pickups. Yeah, very voicey tone. That reverb sounds beautiful. This is neck pickup. It's got a very classy and glassy sound about it, which I really dig. Let's turn up the volume a little bit more. We'll go to 4.5, and I'll back that reverb off to 3. This is still neck pickup. I'm going to start with my volume control just down a bit. Volume all the way up. Man, it feels really great to play. Let us know what you think of that crunchy tone. Now, one of the cool things about these amps is they're very pedal friendly, and you can get the amp to the sweet spot and then run a pedal like a Klon or a Tube Screamer or whatever hitting the front end, and just work more on the output volume control of the pedal to really push it over the edge. So I'll just show you a quick pass here. The volume, I'm just going to back off to about 5.5. It probably will clean up just that little bit more. Let's have a listen to this. And now with the overdrive on, this is the Warm Audio Centavo, based on a Klon. Yeah. of course, if you turn down on your guitar, it cleans up even with the overdrive on, which is pretty wild. I usually prefer hitting the front end with a pedal than just diming the amp, especially with these sort of low watt Fender amps. They can get a little bit sort of flubby on the low end, but we're gonna switch guitars and we'll take a listen. Let's try some humbuckers now. Thanks to my Tokai Love Rock electric guitar, and I've got the amplifier volume back to 3. I've also taken out some of the low end, so we're now running the bass on about 3.5 and the treble's up slightly. Now when you run humbuckers into this amp, it gets dirty a lot quicker, so just keep that in mind. You sort of have to adjust the volume or work the volume on your pickups. But this is neck pickup. Now that's what I think of when I think of this guitar's pickups on a clean channel of an amp. It has all the right frequencies there, but I'm going to show you that it does get dirty pretty quickly. So just even adjusting it to 4. Now you can of course work your volume control. So being that we get that low watt amplifier power rating, we can kind of work the tubes or the front end of the amp really easily. So basically we can crank it up, turn our guitar volume down, it will clean up beautifully, turn it back up, and you're almost in that sort of crunch rock territory. It's pretty great. Let's have a listen to the onboard tremolo. I've just set it up with everything basically at 5 and the reverb is down at 3. Let's take a listen to this. This is on neck pickup. All right, we're going to turn the reverb up, and we're also going to turn up the intensity, but turn the speed down. Have a listen to this. And try and find a couple of pedals that do that exact tone. You won't find it. That to me sounds awesome. And now with the volume on the amplifier up at 5.5, so this is getting into that crunchy bluesy territory now. This is bridge pickup with the volume all the way up. Here we go. Bit of a play on an old song there, but anyway, this is neck pickup. All right, I think what we have to do now is try that with a pedal. So this is my starting tone. Whew, what a tone. And now with the Warm Audio Centavo on, volume at half. Volume all the way up. It's loud. Whoo! All right, let's wrap this video up. I'm going to talk about how this amplifier feels to play and the overall tones and experience. So these amps are great whether you're playing clean at low volume or if you're running them with pedals, whatever the case may be. I kind of find now that I don't love just cranking up the volume past about 6, maybe a little bit more occasionally, but pedals into the front end with the volume back a bit sounds a bit tighter on the low end, and especially with that 10-inch speaker, sometimes it can struggle reproducing like really huge distortion, and you get more of that inherently as you kind of wind the volume up. So the sweet spot on this amp, somewhere around 6, it really depends on the guitar you're playing, but you can get so much out of it. And the onboard tremolo also sounds beautiful. It's very musical. The reverb's quite wet sounding, so you don't need a lot of it to hear a lot back. It's funny, on the recording, I listened to it, I'm hearing more reverb than I thought I was hearing in the room. So yeah, it recorded slightly different to my experience playing in here, but yeah, beautiful Fender tones. Now, whether or not you can justify the fact that this is hand-wired and it costs quite a lot more, that's up to you, but I still think you can get great tones out of any Princeton, whether it's a 10-inch speaker version or a 12-inch. Save yourself some bucks if you're looking for something like this, but you don't want to spend the same amount of money and get the 68 custom Princeton Reverb. That thing rocks. It's really good. I might re-review that coming up. If you want to see that, let us know. But yeah, I don't really have any complaints with this other than the fact it's a bit out of my price range. But if you want to check it out, I'll link it down below. Thanks again for watching. My name's Shane, and I will catch you on the next one. See ya.